Hey, how are you? I'm Liz LaJoy, the Zen Money CFO, and we're doing this fun series of micro trainings all about the Zen Money process. And today, I want to talk with you about the number one thing that entrepreneurs and small business owners want to have done well and done right in their business, and that is figuring out how to pay ourselves. Let's make sure that all the hard work you're putting into your business is actually leading to consistent, regular, good pay in your personal bank account. That's the whole point of all of this. And sometimes we kind of lose track of that when we're in the middle of building in the business and working on the business. So I want to share with you a little visual model because I find these visuals really helpful in getting us to be thinking about our money in a slightly different way. Let's dive into this right now.
Let's talk about paying yourself and a really clean and quick way to think about it. I love this model because it really helps keep us on track with how we want to think about the money flowing into our business and where it needs to go. So if we're looking from the ground up, we want to think about the first dollars coming into our business likely need to go to pay off our business expenses for that same time period or for the future. And oftentimes we can know how much that generally is. Let's say that you're a service provider, you don't necessarily have a lot of overhead, and this is only, say, 25% of your total revenue in general, month over month, goes toward actual expenses in the business, right? That leaves quite a lot left over to put into your own pocket. However, I always want to make sure we're having the tax conversation. Certain months, you may not have the ability to have extra money set aside in a tax bucket, squirreled away for your quarterly estimates and for your annual payments. But I always want our clients to be thinking about it so that we're not caught short. The idea that, oh, I will get to that later always comes to bite you in the ass every single time. So think about setting aside 30 to 40% of the money coming in the door in a separate savings account or a money market account to go towards taxes. If you don't end up spending all of it, yay, not a big deal. At the end of the year, if you're like, hey, I only need to spend 20%, guess what? It's the secret savings bucket that allows us to then have some cash on hand that we can put into a retirement fund at the end of the year. It might be a place where we can say, all right, I've got extra money in there. I'm going to reinvest it in the business, or I'm going to give myself a bonus. But I really love taking any excess in the tax account and putting it toward our future financial well-being, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs and small business owners, that's an area that we really fall short in, especially in the beginning years where we're ramping everything up and thinking about putting into a 401k or a Roth IRA is the last thing on the list. So if we make sure that we're setting aside for taxes and there's money left over, guess what? You've, without thinking about it too much, actually squirreled away some money for your retirement savings as well. So what does that leave us? Let's say we're going to go with 30% tax set aside. This, of course, needs to be related to how much you actually pay, and that's something that working with your CPA or a bookkeeper or somebody like us can help you figure out. But let's assume 30% is a good rule of thumb of all the dollars coming in. We're going to set aside 30 plus 25 over here, right, is 55%, which means you could be putting 45% of all dollars coming in into your own pocket. That sounds pretty great, right? The math of that works like this. Let's say $10,000 comes in pretty regularly into your business on average. We're going to spend $2,500 of it on business expenses. That might mean you've already spent it and you're paying off a credit card this month. It might be partially squirreling away money to create a cash buffer. Whatever it is, $2,500 right off the top in that month is going to go to the business itself to keep the business whole. And then we're going to set aside $3,000 into a tax savings account. It's going to feel like a lot, and you're going to feel like, oh, what the heck? I don't want to put that money there. I want to spend it on something else. If you can be diligent in this area, your future self is going to feel amazing because you're always going to have a pool to draw from when you have to pay your quarterlies and you have to pay your year-end taxes. And again, as we said, anything left over can go to retirement, it can go back into business, it can go toward a trip with your family, whatever it might be. So in this model, 10K came in last month, 2,500 of it is going out the door toward business expenses, 3K is going to get set aside for taxes, which means we can pull $4,500 into a personal checking account that you get to live on. Now, part of the paying yourself model involves taking some time and letting the cash catch up. In future micro trainings, we will talk about cash flow, but right now, just think about this model and where in general, percentage wise, you want to allocate your resources. Part of Zen Money Mastery involves knowing where to put your money and give it jobs to do, including within the business, in your taxes, and for you, because this is why we're doing this work. And if we go too long without legitimately paying ourselves, it doesn't feel very good. Our spouses start to wonder what we're up to, and ultimately the business doesn't thrive either. So think about this model, think about what your percentages need to be, and you can use this month after month as you're thinking about growing your business.
So I hope that model was useful, right? It takes the basic financial equation of income minus expenses equals profit, and that profit bucket is what allows you to pay yourself and taxes, and put it to use for yourself in your business. The idea here is that the math isn't hard, but sometimes we don't look at it that much. If you want to take it to the next level, if you want to learn more about how to take this whole piece of your puzzle and make sure that you're getting the money you want in your pocket every single month, then just sign up for my brand new, absolutely free Zen Money Mastery workshop series. You're going to get trainings delivered straight to your door. You don't have to do anything other than click the button below and sign up to get started.